The bull market is still alive as Fed Chair Jerome Powell says quantitative tightening will be ramped down and will be ending soon. And that means they're going to return to QE. This was the bullish catalyst the markets were waiting for. And XRP futures are going live tomorrow. This is significant for getting the XRP spot ETF. And Solana ETF futures are going live tomorrow as well. And we have some more updates around the SEC dropping its appeal against Ripple. And President Trump will be speaking at a crypto conference tomorrow. I'll give you the details. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, we got to start by taking a look at Bitcoin because it rallied to $87,000 today, coming off some very big macro news coming from the Fed, which was bullish overall. We're not only seeing Bitcoin making this move, but the S&P 500, the NASDAQ as well. We're seeing that reversal, kind of a V shape. Now we have to be patient and let it do its thing. The market has to find its strength and support levels, right? But we're seeing the movement upward and we're seeing it across the board. So the market likes the update from the Fed today, and I'll give you the details around the Fed. But let's jump back to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is showing some good signs here. And analyst Rec Capital said Bitcoin is on the cusp of breaking this daily RSI downtrend dating back to November 2024. Why is this important? Well, it's what I've been talking to you guys about for the past 2-3 months, that we got into the oversold zone, Bitcoin that is, in November and into early December. Then we started our correction. Well, we've been in the oversold zone since the end of February into early March. And we've talked about the directional moves that once you hit overbought, you're going the other way. Once you hit oversold, you're going the other way. And overbought, it's when the RSI is 70 and above. Oversold is when the RSI is 30 and below. So we've hit those zones. This is textbook now. And we're seeing the move in the opposite direction, guys. Very good sign. Once again, this is textbook. So I think this is the start of the reversal. However, what could happen though, Bitcoin could go up and fake us out a bit, go back down and test these levels before the true breakout happens. Now, I'm hoping this is the start of the true breakout, but there's no guarantee. And that's why I'm letting you know about both scenarios. Even analyst Credible Crypto highlighted this, saying this is a key inflection point and that he's anticipating that Bitcoin is having a true breakout, but don't be surprised if it gets rejected first, goes back down, tests, and then back up. So keep that in mind, right? And keep in mind that any week there's a FOMC meeting, there's a lot of volatility. So could we see volatility tomorrow and Friday and then things normalize next week? It's very possible. So you got to be open-minded and make sure you're prepared for all scenarios. But overall, I like what I'm seeing in the market here, the start of a move. And of course, XRP has been moving because of the big news today, which we'll talk a bit more later. But guys, the macro backdrop is setting up beautifully with the DXY showing a lot of weakness. It is crashing down. Global liquidity continues to rise. These are things that are favorable for risk assets like crypto and the stock market. And so guys, today, Fed Chair Jerome Powell said they are not cutting rates. They're leaving rates as is, but that wasn't the bullish news. They said they are ramping down quantitative tightening. Guys, what have I been saying for so long on the podcast and in my newsletter? We started with first rate pauses, right? Remember? Then rate cuts. Now, quantitative easing ramping down. They're going to wrap it up. I showed you guys the poly market statistic where they said they expect the Fed to stop quantitative tightening by May, right? And then you know what comes after quantitative easing. It's the same thing, different cycle. Yes, there may be some different variables. At this time it's tariffs and this and that, but the bull market is still intact. We have not deviated from the key support levels. Indicators and signals that have flashed the top in the past are not flashing. And no bull market ends in folks feeling extreme fear. That is not what we've seen historically. It ends when people think this thing is going to keep going. That is what we've seen historically. So Sven Henrik, who is a great trader. I've had him on the podcast. You've probably seen him on CNBC talking about the markets. He said, kill quantitative tightening, of course. The Fed to slow balance sheet runoff starting April 1st. So that's when they're going to start ramping down. And here's some details the Fed gave. The committee will slow the pace of decline of its securities holdings by reducing the monthly redemption cap on Treasury secretaries from $25 billion to $5 billion. They're cutting it by 80%. Sven said $5 billion is akin to pausing it altogether. I think Jerome and the Fed, they didn't want to just say, oh, that's it, it's done, right? Because the markets would have went nuts, bonkers. But hey, we'll cut it by 80% to $5 billion. Wow, for them, that's nothing when you think about the trillions they're handling. So, guys, this is the macro catalyst I was talking about in yesterday's podcast. Go back and listen and watch, right? I said, even if the Fed doesn't cut rates, but they just signal QT, the markets will turn bullish. So this was the macro signal we were waiting for, guys, because remember, markets are forward looking. They know the ramp down of QT. What comes next? QE. Guys, I hope you've been paying attention and following me when I've been telling you guys about this the whole time, right? And remember, markets are correlated to the macro, so this is so bullish. All right, moving ahead, President Trump is going to speak at the Digital Asset Summit tomorrow. So Blockworks DAS Summit, which is being held in New York City. We got a lot of crypto people there, CEOs and so forth. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse was there announcing about the SEC case appeal being dropped today. And I don't know if President Trump is going to speak from a live feed or is going to be recorded, and if he's going to break any important news, like something we don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but I'm definitely going to be paying attention, and I will report to you guys what he says from there. Hopefully it's something big, maybe something around crypto taxes and things like that, right? That would be huge. Now, of course, guys, in the episode I published earlier today, we talked about the SEC dropping its appeal against Ripple in the XRP lawsuit. However, there's some outstanding items, and Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse went on Bloomberg and talked about these things. Now, the clip is too long to play, but I'll give you the TLDR. He essentially said, look, they're still deciding if they're going to cross appeal. I think they're at the negotiating table trying to get some of the institutional sales stuff mitigated for future activity. But he did mention they would love to get that $125 million penalty off the table and get it back. Now, I don't think the SEC is just going to give it back. I think they're going to cut it significantly. So that was the TLDR. Those were the missing items, right? But as I said in the episode earlier, Ripple's in the driver's seat here, and the SEC is no longer hunting them. So they're free and clear, from being hunted. And that's a, great feeling and very important for XRP. Now it's up to them what they want to do with negotiating these things. Now, today I interviewed attorney Fred Rispoli. That interview will be published in the morning. We did a deep dive into these things, and he has a theory that they have already negotiated the details, but they're waiting for Paul Atkins to come in to give the rubber stamp of approval. And that is, Ripple and the SEC are going to agree that the past is the past, but moving forward, Ripple doesn't have to worry about anything when it comes to institutional sales, and that the $125 million penalty will be cut down significantly. So you'll have to watch that interview, guys. I highly recommend you do. Fred breaks it down from a legal perspective better than I can, of course. And that interview will be live in the morning. Now, a lot of folks in the industry came out congratulating Ripple, and it's great to see the industry coming out and supporting, because this is a win for the industry. Chris Giancarlo, who predicted almost 5 years ago that Ripple would win, he said, congratulations to Brad Garlinghouse, Stuart Alderati, and the Ripple team on the SEC lawsuit, an outcome I anticipated almost 5 years ago. Kristen Smith of the Blockchain Association said, congratulations to Brad Garlinghouse, Stuart Alderati, and the entire Ripple team on today's news. Today marks a complete and total victory for a great American crypto company and broader industry. Couldn't agree more. However, you had your naysayers like old gas bag Charlie Gasparino of Fox Business, and thank goodness Eleanor Terrett is no longer working with this clown. He tweeted out the following: obviously, the question remains about the other part of the case, but it's clear current SEC believes XRP passes the Ethereum decentralized test as it's trading today. Like, what? That is so dumb. And he even misspells Ethereum. The guy can't even spell Ethereum. He's supposed to be a journalist, and he's out here trying to tell people about the case. This guy's a clown. He says, also for the SEC, how does I square the duo disclosure standard set by Judge Torres? This guy's all over the place, and he was getting trolled and called out. Like, he couldn't even congratulate Ripple. He's always trying to undermine it, right? And folks think it's because of his he's buddies with Jay Clayton and some folks on the SECs, but he's on the wrong side of history, just like Gary Gensler and Elizabeth Warren, right? How long have I been saying they were on the wrong side of history? So is Gasbag over here. So this guy's a clown, but you know, what are you going to do? Clowns are going to be clowns, right, guys? But overall, victory, we're moving forward. And once I think Ripple comes to their whole resolution about, you know, what they want to do with the fine and so forth, Gasbag will have to shut up, and I think he's going to have egg on his face. Now, something really big around XRP tomorrow. Binomial is launching the first ever CFTC regulated XRP futures in the United States, physically settled for real market impact. Plus, they have voluntarily dismissed their case against the SEC as regulatory clarity improves. They were actually suing the SEC to say, hey, why are you blocking this, right? Because they tried to launch this when Gensler was still around. But you can see the SEC has a different approach now with Hester Peirce, Marky Wade, and the Crypto Task Force. So this is important because the SEC has required, while it's not absolutely needed, they have used it for Bitcoin and Ethereum, that they need the futures market set up. So this is a big step in getting that spot ETF, guys. Huge news here. Now, a quick word from our sponsor, and that is BitGo. BitGo is one of the top tier crypto custodians in the market, guys. They've been around for a long time in many bear and bull markets. They're headed up by Mike Belshie, who's a Web 1.0 and 2.0 legend. They have $100 billion of assets on their platform. They provide services to major crypto companies such as 21 Shares, which issues Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF, Pantera Capital, that's a hedge fund headed up by Dan Moorhead, Swede, a token project, Bitstamp Exchange, and many more. So they provide wallet services, custodial services, all-in-one liquidity and prime services, and much more. And they also have a retail platform where you can buy, sell, trade crypto, and even stake crypto. And they have a great self-hosted wallet that you can use. And of course, you get the top-of-the-line security and much more. And they support a variety of assets, guys, different altcoins that you can check out on their website. So if you'd like to learn more, go to bitgo.com. Link will be in the description. Now, tomorrow, the first ever Solana ETFs in the US are launching via VolShares, and these will track futures. So it's essentially a futures ETF. So really big news. And once again, this is important for the spot ETFs, which I believe will be approved later this year as Paul Atkins comes into office. So guys, you see what's happening here. The setup for the continuation of the bull market for XRP, Solana, and many other altcoins. Now, check this out. Kraken Exchange is close to a $1.5 billion acquisition deal for NinjaTrader, which would allow the exchange to offer crypto futures and derivatives in the US, per the Wall Street Journal. Now, I never heard of NinjaTrader, but they have a lot of futures products, so makes sense. And these are signs of the bull market, guys. I told you, watch out for the mergers and acquisitions, the expansions, the investments, and look at what's happening. These guys are not doing this to lose money. They know what's coming, and the future of the markets is tokenized, running on the blockchain, stocks, commodities, and much more. And crypto's only going to continue to grow as more institutional investors come in globally. We're talking stock markets, banks, investment firms, and much more. So pretty incredible stuff. Folks, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. A great way you can support me and the podcast, guys, is by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It's 100% free on Substack. Check out my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital. And check out my new course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that touches on all aspects of crypto. Guys, knowledge is power. If you want to take your knowledge to the next level, check out this course, because what makes it unique and different from any other course out there, it features expert commentary. You will hear from founders, CEOs, institutional investors, breaking down the different aspects of the crypto market. And you pay a one-time fee, and you get lifetime access. And you can go at your own pace, share the login with your friends and family. This course has a ton of value, full of text write-ups, videos, of course, and downloadable materials. So if you'd like to learn more, go to mycryptocourse.com. Link will be in the description. Guys, thank you for watching and listening. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.